second collection is based off of Oak Bluff, the only section in Martha's Vineyard where black people can gather and do their thing. Cool. I don't give a fuck about none of that.
Ralph Lauren is back at it again as he releases his Oak Bluffs collection, an exploration of the black community that lived and summered in Martha's Vineyard.
Even Loro Piana, the gold standard of quiet luxury, just got caught.
Luxury loves a good story, heritage, exclusivity, prestige. But what happens when those stories reveal a darker side? Loro Piana, known for its $1,000 cashmere, is now under court oversight after being linked to illegal sweatshop labor in Italy. And Ralph Lauren's Oak Bluffs capsule, meant to celebrate black heritage, has sparked a heated debate over elitism, classism, and who really gets represented in luxury. In this video, we'll be breaking down the exploitation hiding in Italy's luxury supply chains, and why Ralph Lauren's campaign hit a nerve with the black community. Hi babes, my name's Taja, mother of twins, lover of luxe things, and your guide for showing up with style and intention. Loro Piana, the Italian cashmere brand owned by LVMH, has been placed under judicial administration by a Milan court for 1 year due to severe labor exploitation within its supply chain.
Their $3,000 cashmere jackets are made for 80 euros and are made by Chinese workers employed illegally in sweatshops near Milan. People working for 12-hour shifts for 4 euros an hour with no contracts, no safety, and sleeping in illegal dorms.
Making it the fifth luxury brand in Italy to face such actions since 2023. The court appointed an external administrator to oversee the brand's operations and implement suitable supply chain reforms. This scandal comes shortly after the recent exploitation scandal that took place within Valentino in May of this year, where they also were found to be exploiting labor in some of their subcontracted factories. The Loro Piana investigation revealed that production was subcontracted through intermediary firms to Chinese-owned workers in Italy. Workers, including undocumented migrants, endured unsafe conditions, working up to 90 hours per week, earning roughly 4 euros per hour, and were housed in unsanitary makeshift dormitories. The investigation also revealed that the subcontractor had been producing between 6,000 and 7,000 men's jackets per year at prices between 118 euros and 128 euros depending on the number ordered. However, Loro Piana cashmere jackets sell to the public for around 4,000 euros. In response to this accusation, Loro Piana stated that the reported cost figures are not representative of the amounts paid by Loro Piana to its suppliers, nor do they consider the full value of all the elements, including, among others, raw materials and fabrics. They claim that they were unaware of these third-party subcontractors until May 2025 and severed ties within 24 hours of discovery. The company condemned the exploitative practices and committed to enhancing its supply chain, which isn't unlike the statements that all the other luxury brands have given in recent times in response to being caught using exploited labor. This case definitely works to highlight once again the systematic exploitation issue within luxury fashion. And there seems to be a broader crisis taking place within Italy's luxury sector, where legally fragmented and opaque production networks foster exploitation. Despite high margins and premium pricing, Made in Italy is increasingly being questioned. And the Made in Italy title is being questioned even more so with scandals like the recent Made in China exposés and the ongoing scrutiny that the luxury fashion sector is currently experiencing. Top brands like Dior, Armani and Valentino have been found guilty of similar breaches. And in May of 2025, many of these luxury brands claimed to join forces to fight worker exploitation. Legal and political authorities, trade unions and fashion industry parties joined together to sign a non-binding action plan that aimed to address the widespread worker exploitation. However, none of these action plans or promises to have a deeper look at their governance processes, their audits, their risk assessments has seemed to make any dent in the way that these brands are conducting themselves. And at this point, it's getting a bit embarrassing. I'm not really sure why they seem to be so confident that these kind of scandals will not completely destroy their brand. I definitely think so far it being exposed for worker exploitation hasn't seemed to have made a gigantic dent in the face of these brands. However, I do think that the luxury fashion industry, definitely in more recent times, is getting a bit more attention. How they conduct themselves seems to be being more scrutinized, and definitely younger consumers are showing over and over again that brand ethics and values are really important to them and does affect their purchasing behavior. And so even if these brands so far have been able to seemingly get away with exploiting labor without much consequence, I do not think it's something that's going to continue for the foreseeable future, as the expectations and desires of the luxury consumer are definitely changing. Although some may argue that it would be near on impossible for luxury brands to guarantee clean supply chains, there are definitely currently some deep-rooted subcontracting issues. Ethical audits remain inconsistent and are often circumvented, and experts argue that true supply chain cleanliness requires systematic shifts, stronger internal governance, fairer sourcing strategies, long-term supplier partnerships, and regulatory mandates that go beyond voluntary brand pledges. Luxury brands face a critical challenge. Transparency tools are insufficient when the supply chain remains structurally opaque. Until the industry embraces systematic reform internally and through regulation, it will be near on impossible for them to be truly ethical. And this is not the only scandal that has been swirling around in the last few weeks. In July of this year, Ralph Lauren launched a limited edition capsule collection inspired by Oak Bluffs, a historic African American summer community on Martha's Vineyard, known for welcoming Black families during segregation and becoming a symbol of cultural resilience and joy. The collection blends coastal fashion staples like varsity jackets, sailor knits, and caps with artistic nods to historically Black colleges and universities, featuring mascots and symbols from Morehouse and Spelman colleges. Alumni from these institutions also helped design the line. The accompanying campaign includes a documentary celebrating Oak Bluffs' legacy. Ralph Lauren works to connect fashion with cultural memory. Ralph Lauren's Oak Bluff collection goes beyond aesthetics. It weaves history and representation into its narrative. However, although I believe that this collection is so beautiful, I was so happy to see it. It did in fact ruffle some feathers, and as a consequence there have been ongoing conversations about classism and elitism and whether this collection in fact resonates with the average African American consumer, and should it even have to resonate with every Black American person.
The second collection is based off Oak Bluff, the only section in Martha's Vineyard where Black people can gather and do their thing. Cool. I don't give a fuck about none of that.
Oak Bluff was one of the places in America where Black people feel safe. Probably still to this day, where Black people feel safe.
Are we seriously mad about the new Ralph Lauren collection that pays homage to the Black community and its history? You just can't satisfy everyone.
I'm elitist. What makes me elitist? Is it having a college degree and double majoring in meteorology and math? Is it working at companies like NASA and Amazon? Working as a software engineer for over 10 years?
I was able to snag some things from the Polo Ralph Lauren Oak Bluff collection. You know, I saw there was a lot of controversy surrounding it, and it's like, here's my opinion when it comes to everything that's happening. I feel like some things you relate to, some things you don't.
And so, of course, I am not American, and so I'm going to be cautious about how I contribute to this conversation because I do not have a lived Black American experience. However, I can say that the influence that African American culture, including HBCU culture, has had across the world, including here in little old London, is massive. And I definitely remember being a younger person and my dream being to go to a HBCU and just watching how beautiful their culture is, how they represent themselves so well that it's very, very difficult for me to see any problem at all with this collection. I definitely think it, of course, will not resonate with everyone for a number of reasons. And I will link below to a few Black American creators who have probably been able to contribute to this conversation in a more informed way. But I don't think it needs to resonate with everybody. Black people in general are quite diverse and not monolithic at all. And so I don't think everything needs to be be for everyone, but I was so happy to see this collection. I think it's great. And so for any of you guys who are not based in the US, if you're based in Britain, you can in fact shop this collection too. And so I just wanted to go through some of the standout pieces. They do have pieces for men and women. They have this jumper, the Spelman College Polo Bear jumper. Beautiful, so cute, guys. So cute, especially as we approach autumn, winter. I think it would be really nice styled as they have with the model, maybe with a light jean. It looks super cozy as well. They have quite a few varsity sets. I mean, varsity styling is not necessarily my vibe. However, I don't mind leaning into a little bit of anything. And so I also thought the Spelman College wrap dress was quite sweet. You know, it's very simple, but sometimes that's all you need. I think with a nice sandal, if you were looking for something now for the warmer weather, that's quite cute as well. Also, the Spelman College patchwork cardigan. Cute, right? I love the blue on it, and I actually really enjoy the colorway that they've used for all of this collection. They also have this Spelman College cropped linen blazer. Yes, I love the croppedness of it. Looks very, very nice with the black pants. Really enjoy the back of it. It's kind of cut into a V at the back, which is really, really nice. So basically, I've seen a lot of conversation about what the collection might mean culturally, but not much conversation about the actual pieces in the collection and what is worth shopping. There are quite a few pieces that are just so nice, including for men, the Morehouse College cardigan, cute. The Morehouse College letter jumper, cute. That they have so much that is worth checking out, especially if you enjoy varsity styling. I think I may even be picking up that Teddy jumper just to show some support. So what do you guys think of the Ralph Lauren Oak Bluffs collection and the recent shameless labor exploitation scandal at Loro Piana? Do let me know down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one.